Hey, how you going, guys? Mick here from Newcastle, back with another kick-ass review. So it's a combination review, this one. I'm going to review my hazy pale ale, non-alcoholic, since we're on the sober journey. Over 6 weeks now. It's been close to 13 weeks, but I did have a couple of alcoholic beverages about halfway through to a couple of drinks with a visitor. So yeah, we sort of broke the sober journey around about halfway from today, going back nearly 13 weeks. So pulling one of those up. I'm also going to review the beach jerky. So it's a local Newcastle local jerky business. Seemed like a pretty cool guy. Went out to Glendale to do bit of shopping, and they have the food markets on out there at Glendale, and there was 2 jerky suppliers out there, so we brought 100 grams from each. My son, he got what is known as the sweet medium-sized container, 100-gram container from Dad's Jerky. That was pretty good. I'll actually purchase some more of that and do another review later on down the track, or do a review of that one later on down the track. But I'm going to review the honey and soy from Beach Jerky. Looks like it's gave me a business card. There's 2 names on there, so it would be probably best mates or maybe brothers. I didn't really get to have too much of a chat with him about it, but he's at the Glendale markets, and he's also at the Newcastle farmers markets at the entertainment centre, the showground. He's probably there every Sunday. Pretty cool setup. He actually had like a food trailer, all sign written in Beach Jerky, set up with all these boxes of pre-packed. Some of the guys that you see around the markets, I know we've done the Neon Lights market up at Maitland showground about a week ago, and that's obviously runs of a night, called the Neon food markets. They have sort of amusement rides and stuff for the kids. There's obviously dessert, sweet sort of food stands, and then you've got your your low and slow meat, and then your hot dogs, and sort of all that sort of carnival food, but more of that pointed towards the gourmet side of things. So you Turkish breads and pita breads, and stuffed Turkish breads and all that sort of stuff. And they have guys up there that obviously do the jerky, but they're weighing theirs out as you sort of order it. So they're got their big tubs, and they're just weighing it up as you order it. But he had other things there, with his lot up there at Maitland. But yeah, we'll always support guys like this and jump on and grab a bag or 2 if they're available at sort of markets like that. Beach Jerky offers 6 flavours. So they've got a chili, which is hot. They've got a gnarly chili, which is very hot, lime and cracked pepper, honey and soy, red wine and garlic, and teriyaki. It did give us a sample of each flavour. We didn't sort of try the chili and that. The chili ones tend to be like, particularly the gnarly, and the Dad's Jerky that we tried as well. Even their basic chili one did have a bit of a bite to it, so we didn't go to the extreme chili ones. But the consistency I found through trying the flavours that he had there, some had some really good flavours, some were real light on flavour, but really good chew of jerky. So get this poured up. We'll get some of that honey soy out. Once again, we've got the non-alcoholic hazy pale ale. Took inspiration from Clawhammer, Apartment Brewer, also low and ultra low home brewing or ultra low brewing on YouTube. was a couple others as well. So all the recipes are pretty similar. Nothing different about brewing non-alcoholic beers over doing fully fermented beers. Ingredients are pretty much similar. You just got to watch your pH so you don't introduce any nasties, and you heavily rely on the hops to try and create more of that hop forward feel, particularly in these fruitier beers, the pale ales. I've also got about to do the New England IPA, which is a apartment brewer recipe. They're all varying in the size of their batches too, so it was trying to work out what was going to work best. I'm a lot happier within myself. My mental stability is a lot better too now that I've sort of gotten away from that binge drinking. There's no shame in getting help, and there's certainly no shame in admitting that if you've got an issue there. When you start to notice huge changes in your life, be it with your relationship with your family, and relationship with friends, relationships within yourself, you really do need to seek shelter from going too far into issues and problems that arise from that. So hazy pale ale, nice big cap on there. First beer off a tap normally every day has been sort of a lot more frothier as you do. Your first pours are normally like that, but nice fluffy compact head. The beer looks amazing in the glass. That's what you're seeing on camera is what you see in real life. The aroma, Pilsner, Joe White Pilsner, Export Pilsner, flaked wheat, rolled oats or flaked oats, crystal and carapul. So with the non-alcoholic ones, you tend to use a lot more carapils, or dextrin malts is what you normally use, and that helps with the mouthfeel and the overall flavour of the beer as a non-alcoholic beer. So looks good, smells good. Citra, Nectarine, Astra, Centennial, Citra. The hops are in this. Pretty much a basic pale ale recipe. Additions of extra oats and flaked wheat also make this a much nicer beer and detract from the fact that it's not alcoholic. So going for a taste. Not really much about this beer tells you that it's non-alcoholic. Still has that NA sort of beer flavour to it. Much better than the ones we used to get commercially in the earlier days when this was starting to, athletic brewing. There was a few others that came out very early on in the day. The Nanny State I found was probably the best commercial one I ever had from Brewdog. And it was very hard to even match, come even close to what an Nanny State was. But since then, other breweries, small boutique and craft breweries, have made things that far exceed that Nanny State to this day. I find that the original Nanny State was probably one of the better ones. That surprised me, and then from there on in, I wasn't really surprised too much about the new additions of non-alcoholic beers coming onto the scene. It's lacing, doesn't hold a head for very long. It is low carbonation on this. I've not carbonating as much, or putting as much carbonation into this as what I normally would in a carbonated beer. because that's definitely, without the alcohol present, its carbonation would probably overcrowd the glass with the fact that there's no alcohol there to balance it out. So that's what I've found with it anyway. So this is the third one that I've done. This is the first real go at doing it properly, making sure my pH levels are well below the 4. We're sitting at around about 3.8. Alright, so the jerky, beach jerky, 100 gram bag. Yes, it's going to have honey and soy in there, so it's using topside beef, soy sauce. Belmont North's where these guys hail from. Golding Avenue, Belmont North. Soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, brown sugar, honey, garlic powder, onion powder. So all your usual suspects in the jerky. Good thing about this was that when he done the when he was doing the samples and he opened up the containers for the samples, he actually had decent sized pieces in there to sample off of, and that looks like a nicer piece. So there's some in there a little bit drier than others. So the inconsistency that I was talking about earlier, where some of it's got really good flavour and really good chew. And some's juicy and some's dry. So the juicier pieces, looks real juicy and it's got some stick about it. These juicier pieces seem to have that obviously more concentrated flavour. They've taken it on a whole lot more. So smell the honey, you can smell the soy. Does have some really good chew to it. And $15 for a 100 gram bag. It's not too bad considering. The ones you get from Aldi and your supermarket type jerky. They're so yeah, the supermarket type jerky, your Coles, your Woolworths and all that, Jack's Links, and they're basically like candy jerky. Real sort of fake and synthetic type, like it's almost like a protein meat base. Almost like, I've had some really good mince jerky made from mince, and as long as it's made from decent meat, be Wagyu or something like that, it's very, very good. But the stuff you get from, I'll eat it occasionally. If my partner, kids buy it for me, I'll eat it, but I'm not really fussed on it too much. But honey and soy, the teriyaki red wine and garlic, the sample pieces we had of that, they were a lot drier. Lacked a little bit of flavour for my liking, but the lime and cracked pepper, that was actually pretty good. The piece that I had there. There's obviously bundle packs that they can do for you as well. If you buy so many, you obviously get a better price. I like it. These guys are using the mylar foil packets. Freshness wise, $15 for 100 grams is pretty good. I think you pay about $7 for 100 grams of the Aldi one, which I've just noticed today while shopping that they've got I think it was garlic and mango or something like that. Chili and mango, sorry. Garlic and mango. I don't think that would create very much a nice flavour. Chili and mango, first time I've seen it, but it's I think it's High Law is the brand from Aldi. But yeah, you will find these guys that obviously the local be it farmers markets or any sort of other markets around the place. These guys are probably set up. Like I mentioned, they're not hard to spot. They stand right out because that logo is printed all over their food van, and it's pretty well set up. The guy's very engaging. Sort of must have been watching us because we were at the other stand buying some jerky, so we was probably 5 stands away from where she was. Yeah, their flavours were really good, more concentrated flavours, but more of that sticky type jerky. Theirs was actually probably more of a sugar base, whereas these guys are probably relying heavily on dry spices and so forth. Much easier to get flavour on jerky if you use a sugar base, but then again it's very sticky. It's very sort of not sort of user friendly. You just stick your hand in to get a piece out, and literally your hand was covered in the flavouring. But anyway, it was still quite tasty jerky. Obviously using decent meat would be top side or something like that. Yeah, so if you're in Newcastle, you're out and about at the markets, these guys are probably hitting the markets of a weekend quite regularly. Could be their side hustle. He was a sort of a fisherman, surfy looking dude, so I'm guessing that's where the beach jerky name came from. Good on them, and at least they're having a go and trying to corner the market. So he called us. He was very engaging. He sort of came out from his food trailer and grabbed hold of us, said come and have a try of this. We've got some samples here, and as mentioned, the samples were really decent sizes, you know, decent 2-inch pieces, you know, 15mm wide, good solid tastings too. So some just like to give you tiny little pieces, you know, might be just offcuts from whatever they've made. But all these samples were quite good. We'll put a link to the to these guys down below. I'll put a link to the other one as well, Dad's Jerky, and I might even throw the link up for the main recipe for this as well. Yeah. Yeah, can't really fault it. Bit more flavour is needed on some of the offerings there from those guys, but other than that, it's certainly worth the $15 for 100 grams. Some of them you could pay $15 for 50 grams. So yeah. Anyway, expiry date on there, or best before date as well, which is good. You don't get that on a lot of them. They're supposed to have it on there by regulations, but some just don't. Particularly these small boutique type guys. It is available from pubs, bottle shops, celebrations at Cameron Park, Midmai Pub, Racecourse Hotel. These are all quite, you know, within a kilometre of me. They're probably at a lot of the others are around as well. A lot of the pubs that are around will have this, and some of the bottle shops as well. Sorry, the main one that I thought was really cool was the beer drop. So Evan beer drop out at Warners Bay. Warners at the Bay also has this, I noticed on the list. But beer drop, if you ever go and grab your craft beer, you know, your craft beers from beer drop, Evan out there at Warners Bay, he does have this in stock. Cheers.